So here are 2 tips when it comes to making sure that DSPS versions of your tests are available to students. These may help you and potentially save you some time when setting up copies of DSPS for tests for your students. So most of the time our course is set up something like this, with some kind of tests folder and all the links to the tests, including the links to the DSPS tests, which are adaptively released to our DSPS students, all of them in the same folder. This is fine, and this will work. However, it can be time-consuming to put the adaptive release criteria on each of these separate DSPS tests individually, searching for the username of the DSPS student and hoping that you remember correctly and have it set up for each test just right. So there's another way that you can limit access to the DSPS versions of the test to just those students, and that's to create a test folder for the DSPS tests. So then you just put the criteria on the folder just once, and all the DSPS versions of the tests are deployed from that folder. So let's look at that inside of a different shell here. So something similar would be like this. I've already got the original tests deployed in a folder in the second section. Now though, rather than deploying my DSPS tests in this same folder directly, I'll make a subfolder, content folder, and I'll call this DSPS tests. And now I can add my adaptive release criteria once for the whole semester just to this folder. In this case, my DSPS student username is PCStudent01, so I just enter that username and hit submit, just for demo purposes here. So that criteria has now been applied to the whole folder. Then inside the folder, so I click on the link to open up the folder, I deploy the DSPS versions of the test. I'll pause this while I deploy the other 4 tests. Okay, so now each of those DSPS tests are deployed within my DSPS test folder. I don't have to worry about going in and putting adaptive release criteria on each of these because it's already been put on the folder that they are in. So that might save you some time. The other tip to remember is the option to check user progress when you want to see which of your students have access to folders in your courses. So for example, if you want to confirm that only your DSPS students have access to this folder, you can do user progress. Where are you? There you are. And you get an eyeball icon next to the students who can see it and the red slash icon to the students who don't have access. So here you can be sure that only the DSPS student has access to these tests because that's the only student that has access to the folder. So that can be handy when troubleshooting with a student about their access to a test or other folders or items in the course for that matter. So I hope that helps.